What's up, readers? This is Janvi from Team Book Nerds, and I am here to share a book with you all, which is the latest historical mystery thriller. 3 big words, guys, and 3 genres. And this book is The Hottest Summer in Years, written by Anuradha Kumar. I must say that when I finished this book, I came to realize that it has been written in such well-detailed manner that I enjoyed it so much, and I'm sure that the readers all over the globe would love to read the protagonist's perspective as well as empathize with him. This book, I would also say that it gave me a time to introspect myself. The questions asked by the protagonist by himself in this book were quite insightful, and even for him. And I'm sure that the readers, if they put a hand on it or grab this book as soon as possible, guys, you need to read this book. You have to. So, yes, you are gonna enjoy this book. Well, there is also one thing. If you're willing to read this book, you should grab a cup of tea or a coffee, sit back in a relaxed sofa. The environment should be good, the lighting should be good, because this book is not just a flip through. You can't go like this. No. This book requires your dedication and your concentration. This book has been set in the post-partition phase in India, where the protagonist, whose name is Gerder, sets his foot first time in the city of Rourkela as a newly appointed manager at the Germany Officer Club. Hans is haunted by his past demons in here, which comes in the form of nightmares to terrorize him. And that is why the reason he came to this country, it's more like a getaway from all his past ventures and to adopt a new lifestyle in the central region of India. But what seems like a fresh new start soon turns out to be a huge gulf of misunderstandings, complexities, new pain, or new situations where Hans is forced to reflect on his past life with present situations, also to liberate himself and to save his love, Lipsa, and her family from the predacious instincts of an ambitious police officer, Das. Now you must be wondering, what are those turmoils? What happened in the past that terrorized the protagonist so much? Well, to answer your question, I would only give you a small spoiler regarding it. That the author happened to face some harsh and cruel realities of that time in Germany, which happened in the early 1940s. And that is the reason the author tries to, compare his past life with the present situation and tries to question himself in accordance with the situation which he is facing at that particular moment. Now, if you ask me the things that I really enjoyed about this book, the first one being the cover. What seems like a simple cover of a history lessons we readers are quick to dwell in, or that old feeling vibe, this cover has done its job. Because I would also, if you talk about my observation, I felt that the cover also helped in setting the symbolism by contrasting the past, that traumatizing past of the German protagonist, with the simple lines of the world map. Secondly, if you ask me, the author has done a remarkable job when it came to revealing spoilers to us. She built that anticipation and that it reached to such peak where the sudden pop-up of spoiler left me confused, overjoyed, surprised, and emotional at the same time. The author also allowed me to venture this time machine, or that phase from 1939 to 1976 in the narrative's life, which was written down so brilliantly that I got to understand the different side of the human nature. Those desire, the deeds which we talk about has been written so well, and which is, we can get to know that the persona an individual carries to hide his or her deed is something which is totally justified in this book. Speaking of human nature, the hottest summer in years has introduced me to some of the most interesting characters who has mapped out this historical narrative perfectly. Yes guys, I am talking about the characters, and it is time that I add them into the most likable things about this book's list. So, the first one being the ambitious and determined police officer Das, who is also a good friend of the protagonist, who wouldn't stop at nothing but to find a killer who is responsible for such chaos in the city and ensure justice to the people. Second being the Raja Sahib, who has found himself into this unquestionable offense, and to pull himself out of this trouble is the only task he has in his hands right now. Thirdly, the Rani Sahiba, also the quirky Tillo, who loves writing poetry and enjoys reciting them to Hans. The perfect daughter Lipsa or Lisa, who is lost and lonely as Hans, but finds some sort of comfort when she is with him. Also, some of the greatest plot twisters, who are Idris and Ahmed Ali, whom I'm sure would surprise you as the story progresses. And how can we forget the Daimler? The Daimler, guys. I must say that the author has given life to this inanimate object by showcasing that attachment and that symbol of survival in the protagonist's life. But for all the good and emotional times, there was a time where I had to count the drawbacks as well. Yes guys, it is a time where I tell you the things that I didn't particularly like about this book. First one being, I believe that the author has put down more of historical references. There was a time where I had to switch on the other device and to look into some historical facts and figures to recognize what the author was trying to tell me. But don't you worry, as the story progresses, you will be able to understand everything. Secondly, I believe that the readers might get themselves entangled in some lines, but as mentioned formal, that this book requires good amount of dedication and concentration. So to be familiar with the next one, you have to be 100% assured with the previous one. Thirdly, I also think that this book also should have focused more on building a relationship between Lisa and Hans, because you see, I'm more of a romantic person, so I was craving for that affection. Fourthly, I think this book also has some mature themes, so you are warned, but don't worry, it's just it depends on imagination. Imagination is the key to creation. At the end, I would say that the hottest summer in years is to be savored delicately and to be enjoyed peacefully. The plot grows on you as well as the characters. This book has met my demands of all the beautiful and yet the harsh and factual segments of life. The book nerds encourages you all to give it a try and dwell into the world of Hans Gerder, past as well as his city of Rourkela life.